word. It wasn't their suit. It wasn't their title. It was the way they spoke, their presence, their voice. Now ask yourself this. When you speak, do people stop and listen, or do they scroll past your words like noise? The truth is hard. Most people aren't heard, not because their ideas are weak, but because their voice doesn't carry strength. It lacks confidence. It lacks conviction. And without those, the world doesn't listen. But here's the truth no one tells you. Confidence in communication is not a gift. It's a skill. And anyone, yes, anyone, can master it. Imagine this. You walk into any conversation, any meeting, any interview, and your voice commands the space. Not by being loud, not by trying to dominate, but simply because it's grounded, it's sure. It speaks like it knows where it's going. That's the voice of a leader. Now here's the reward I promised. If you stay with this video till the end, you'll walk away with a shift in how you speak. Not just in public, but with your family, your friends, your co-workers, and most importantly with yourself. Because self-confidence doesn't start when others hear you. It starts when you hear yourself. And believe it, let's go deeper. Think about this for a moment. Your voice is your identity. When you speak, you're revealing how you see yourself. Are you strong? Are you grounded? Do you believe in your words, or are you just hoping they land? Successful people, true leaders, they don't guess. They don't whisper their truth, hoping no one challenges them. They speak like their words matter, because they believe they do. That's the first secret of powerful communication, belief. Before the world believes you, you must believe you. Now listen carefully, this part is important. Your brain is listening to you all the time. Every time you speak nervously, uncertainly, passively, your mind remembers. It says, we're unsure. Let's play it safe next time. And that becomes your pattern. But the opposite is also true. Every time you speak with strength, even when you're scared, your brain takes note. It says, we can do this. We belong here. And that becomes your new reality. This is the psychology of self-confidence. You don't wait for confidence. You create it. One word, one sentence, one courageous moment at a time. Think about leaders you admire. Do they stumble over every sentence? Do they mumble? Do they apologize for speaking? No. They talk with rhythm. They talk with clarity. They talk with power. But that power didn't come from their vocabulary. It came from their certainty. Certainty about their message. Certainty about their right to speak. And certainty about their identity. Now let me tell you a truth that might sting. If you don't own your voice, someone else will use theirs to define you, and you'll spend your life living under their confidence instead of building your own. But you have a choice. You can stay quiet, keep shrinking, keep letting fear control your voice, or you can decide right now that your voice deserves to be heard. You don't need to wait. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start speaking with the energy of someone who belongs, because you do. And deep down, you already know that. You weren't made to whisper. You weren't built to hide. You were created to stand, speak, and lead. And starting today, you will. Your voice is not just sound. It's your signal to the world that you are here, that you matter, and that your words carry weight. Most people speak to be heard, but leaders speak to move people. They speak to lead thoughts, to build belief, to inspire action. Now here's the truth many ignore. Every time you open your mouth, you're either building trust or breaking it. When you speak with hesitation, with uncertainty, people don't just hear it, they feel it, and their brain makes a quick decision. Can I trust this person? If your voice shakes, if your tone doubts itself, their answer is already no. But when your words come with calm strength, when your tone is steady, when your pauses are intentional, you build invisible authority, not the kind that comes from a title, the kind that comes from inner belief. That's why your voice matters, because in every room you enter, it introduces your self-worth before your ideas ever do. Think about that. The words you choose, the tone you carry, the confidence you project, these things shape how others see you, and more dangerously, how you start to see yourself. And here's where human psychology comes into play. We believe those who believe themselves. If you sound unsure, the mind assumes your message isn't worth following. But when your voice is aligned with conviction, your words bypass logic and hit the heart. That's leadership. not shouting, not pushing, but speaking with such grounded belief that people choose to follow you without being told to, and that's available to you. Not one day, not when you feel ready, right now. You don't need to be the loudest. You just need to sound like you mean it. You can wear the right clothes, say the right words, walk into the room with a smile. But if doubt lives in your voice, people will feel it. Before you ever say a word, doubt is quiet but powerful. It shows up in the slight tremble in your tone, the quick glance to see if others approve, the rushed words like you're trying to finish before someone interrupts. This is how doubt kills confidence, silently. You may think no one notices, but the human brain is wired for survival. It reads tone faster than language. It listens for confidence and detects fear in milliseconds. And when it senses doubt, it pulls away. It doesn't trust. Because if you don't trust your own words, why should anyone else? That's why doubt is dangerous. Not because it makes you weak, but because it makes you invisible. And once you become invisible to others, you begin to disappear from yourself, too. You stop speaking up. You hold back your ideas. You silence your potential, not because you're unworthy, but because doubt convinced you that you are. But here's the truth. Doubt is a liar. It speaks in your voice, using your thoughts, pretending to protect you from failure. But what it's really doing is keeping you small, comfortable, muted. So how do you silence doubt? You don't fight it with noise. You fight it with truth, with practice, with repetition. Every time you speak with courage, even when doubt is loud, you weaken its grip. You train your mind to say, I hear the fear, but I'm not obeying it. And over time, your voice gets stronger, not because fear disappears, but because you stop surrendering to it. You'll still feel nervous. That's normal, but you'll speak anyway, because your message is bigger than your fear. And that is the moment your voice begins to matter. Confidence doesn't come from being the best in the room. It comes from knowing you belong in the room. Most people wait. They wait for permission. They wait for proof. They wait to feel ready. But here's the truth most never realize. Confidence is not a feeling. It's a decision. Your brain is always learning from you. Every action you take, every word you speak, it's recording, labeling, forming patterns. And when you avoid speaking up, when you let fear decide for you, your brain creates a habit. We don't speak. We stay silent. It's safer. But the opposite is also true. When you speak even with shaky words, when you show up even with doubt in your chest, your brain learns something powerful. I can do hard things. I can be seen. I can trust myself. This is how confidence is built, not in silence, but in movement. And here's where psychology becomes your greatest tool. The brain doesn't know the difference between real confidence and practiced confidence. It simply reacts to repetition. The more often you act brave, the more your brain rewires to believe you are brave. It's not fake. It's training. Just like a muscle, confidence grows with use. It doesn't grow in hiding. It doesn't grow in perfection. It grows when you lean into discomfort again and again. So stop waiting to feel like a leader before you speak like one. Start speaking like one, and your brain will catch up. Remember, your voice becomes stronger each time you use it. Even if you stumble, even if your heart races, even if no one applauds. Confidence doesn't mean you're never scared. It means you speak anyway, because staying silent costs more than the risk of being heard. Train your voice, train your mind, and watch who you become when you finally trust your own sound. You don't need perfect words to sound powerful. You need purpose behind your words. This is where most people go wrong. They think leadership comes from flawless sentences, big words, polished speeches. But none of that matters if your voice lacks intention. People don't follow perfection. They follow clarity. They follow truth. They follow someone who speaks like they mean every word. Think about it. Have you ever heard someone speak and felt deeply moved, even if their grammar wasn't perfect? Why did their words hit you? Because they were real. Because they weren't trying to impress you. They were trying to reach you. That's the power of purpose. The human brain doesn't remember exact words. It remembers emotion. It remembers tone. It remembers the feeling behind what was said. That's why some voices stay with you for years, and others disappear instantly. So stop trying to sound impressive. Start sounding intentional. Speak from a place that says, this matters. I believe this. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be real. because perfection puts pressure on your voice. It makes you second guess. It makes you overthink. It makes your words small and safe. But purpose gives your voice power. It frees you. It makes your tone stronger. It gives your message weight. And that's what people respond to. You don't need to speak like a textbook. You need to speak like a human, with passion, clarity, and the courage to be imperfect. Because here's the truth. Perfect doesn't move people. Purpose does. So the next time you speak, don't ask, did I say it right? Ask this instead, did I mean it? If the answer is yes, then you're already leading. Let your purpose speak louder than your fear, and people will follow your voice, not because it's flawless, but because it's real. Confidence doesn't start when people are watching. It starts when no one is. What you practice in silence, you project in public. And that includes how you carry yourself, your voice, your posture, your presence, even your eye contact with yourself. It might sound strange, but one of the most powerful things you can do to build self-confidence is to look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, in the quiet moments, and speak with belief. Because if you can't look at yourself with certainty, how will you ever face the world with strength? This is where real transformation begins, not on stage, not in front of a crowd, but in private. When you practice speaking with clarity, with power, with conviction, even when no one is listening, that's when your voice begins to change. And here's what human psychology tells us. Your brain believes what it repeats. The more you show up confidently, even in solitude, the more your mind rewires itself to trust you, to trust your presence, to trust your voice. Think of it this way. If you walk past the mirror and see doubt in your own eyes, that's the energy you'll carry. But if you look up and see strength, see determination, that's what the world will feel when you speak. You don't need an audience to start acting like a leader. You need alignment between who you are in private and who you show in public. Start in your room. Stand tall. Lift your chin. Speak out loud, even if your voice shakes. Say the words you want to believe. I have something to say. My voice matters. I am allowed to take up space. Because the first person who needs to believe in you is you. Do this daily. Do it until your reflection no longer flinches, until your voice sounds steady, even in silence. That's how leaders are built, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, where no one claps and you choose to rise anyway. Most people fear silence when they speak. They rush through their words trying to fill every second. But real communicators, real leaders, understand the power of pause. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. A pause commands attention. It gives weight to your words. It allows the listener to absorb your message instead of drowning in your noise. Think about it. When someone speaks without a single break, their words blur together. But when a voice pauses just for a moment, everything sharpens. People lean in. They listen. They expect something valuable. This is psychology at work. The human brain responds to rhythm. It needs space to process emotion, meaning, and tone. A pause is not an absence, it's an amplifier. It signals that what you just said, or what you're about to say, matters. But most people avoid it. Why? Because they're afraid. Afraid of being judged, afraid of not sounding smart enough, afraid of losing the listener. But here's the truth. You don't lose people with silence. You lose them with insecurity. When you pause with purpose, you show composure. You show control. You show that you're not afraid of being seen or heard. That is what draws people in. A leader's voice doesn't beg for attention. It commands it without raising the volume. And here's the secret. When you pause, it doesn't just impact others, it impacts you. It gives your mind a second to reconnect with your message, to slow your heartbeat, to speak with purpose, not panic. So the next time you speak, don't fear the pause. Use it. Let your silence speak louder than your anxiety. Let it remind everyone listening that you're not rushing to be heard. You're speaking because you believe your words are worth hearing. And when you believe that, so will they. Words matter. But how you say them? That's where true influence lives. Your tone is the emotional fingerprint of your voice. It tells the world what you really mean, even more than your words do. Say the phrase, "I'm fine," with a calm tone, and it sounds believable. Say it with irritation, and it sounds like a lie. Say it with a smile, and it becomes comforting. Same words, different meaning. That's the power of tone. Your tone reveals your intention. It exposes your belief, your energy, your presence. And whether you realize it or not, people are constantly reading it. Here's what psychology teaches us. The brain is wired to detect tone before content. Before people understand what you're saying, they already feel how you're saying it. That's why children can sense danger in a voice. Why dogs respond to tone, not language. Why even strangers instantly feel whether a speaker is confident or insecure. Your tone is your truth. You can't fake it for long, but you can train it. Start by becoming aware. Record yourself speaking. Notice the energy in your voice. Does it sound rushed, defensive, flat? Or does it sound calm, clear, and grounded? The tone of a leader is steady, not loud. It's measured. It's filled with certainty, even when the message is hard. People don't follow voices that sound desperate. They follow voices that sound anchored. So speak with tone that reflects your purpose. Let your passion show, but don't shout. Let your seriousness show, but don't scold. Let your calm show, because that's what creates trust. You don't need a perfect voice. You need a voice that believes what it says. Practice speaking slowly. Practice speaking clearly. And above all, practice meaning every word. Because when your tone aligns with your truth, your voice becomes unforgettable. Not because it was loud, but because it was real, and real always reaches the heart. Your voice carries power, but your body language sends the strongest message. Before you say a word, your body is already speaking, loud and clear. Think about it. When someone walks in hunched over, avoiding eye contact, speaking softly, what do you feel? Do you trust them? Do you want to follow them? No. Now imagine someone standing tall, shoulders back, chest open, breathing steady. Their voice is calm but firm. Their eyes meet yours. Their presence fills the room. That person doesn't have to say much. Their body says it all. I am confident. I am here. I belong. This is no accident. Your body and your mind are connected. If your body is closed off, your mind feels small. If your body is open, your mind feels powerful. Psychology calls this embodied cognition. Your posture influences your emotions. Stand like a leader, and your brain starts to believe it. Slouch like doubt, and your brain feeds on fear. Here's the secret. You don't have to feel confident first. You can act confident, and your feelings will follow. Start with your posture. Stand or sit up straight. Lift your chin. Relax your shoulders. Take deep, steady breaths. Open your hands. Avoid crossing your arms or shrinking into yourself. These small shifts send a signal to your brain, I am strong. I am in control, and your voice will follow. The more you use your body to support your words, the stronger your presence becomes. People don't just listen, they feel your confidence. Your body language is the silent leader in every conversation. Make sure it's speaking clearly. Confidence is not just spoken, it's lived, breathed, and shown. Before your voice even starts, your body has already set the stage. And when your body and voice align, nothing can stop you. Fear is natural. It's part of being human. But fear doesn't have to silence you. In fact, the most successful people don't avoid fear. They learn how to speak through it. Fear makes your heart race. It tightens your throat. It tries to steal your voice. But here's the truth. Fear is just energy. And energy can be redirected. Instead of fighting fear, use it as fuel. Turn that nervous energy into passion. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it make your voice stronger, not weaker. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. When fear tries to take your voice, breathe. Slow your breath. Ground yourself in the moment. Say to yourself, I am here. I am ready. My voice matters. Use your breath to steady your tone. Use your body to hold your ground. Use your mind to remind yourself why you're speaking. Fear will always be there, but you don't have to let it control you. Each time you face fear and speak anyway, your confidence grows. You prove to yourself that fear is not stronger than your voice, and that's a game changer. Because confidence isn't built in comfort zones. It's built when you step forward despite discomfort. The more you practice speaking with fear beside you, the quieter it becomes. You don't need to wait for fear to disappear. You need to learn to speak in spite of it. That's when your voice becomes unstoppable. And that's when you become a true leader, not because you never felt fear, but because you never let it silence you. Confidence isn't built overnight. It's not a one-time event. It's a habit, a daily practice. Every time you choose to speak up, no matter how small the moment, you're training your mind and body to believe in you more. Confidence grows with consistency. Think about learning any skill, riding a bike, playing an instrument, or running. You didn't get better by doing it once. You got better by doing it again and again. The same is true for your voice. When you consistently practice speaking with intention, your brain rewires itself. It creates new pathways that make confidence easier each time. Your body learns to carry itself with strength. Your voice learns to hold power and calm. But if you only speak confidently once in a while, doubt sneaks back in. Fear takes over. Old habits return. That's why consistency matters more than perfection. You don't have to be perfect every time. You just have to show up, speak. Try again tomorrow. This repetition builds momentum. It proves to your mind that you are capable, that your voice deserves to be heard. No one becomes a confident speaker by waiting for the right moment. They create that moment every day, so make a promise to yourself, show up for your voice. Every day, speak in meetings, speak with friends, speak to yourself in the mirror. It doesn't have to be long or dramatic, it just has to be real. With each small act of courage, your confidence grows stronger, your voice grows louder, and your presence becomes undeniable. Because confidence is not a destination, it's a journey made one bold word at a time. Before you speak, your mind creates a story, a vision of what might happen, and this story shapes how you feel and sound. If you imagine failure, your body tightens, your voice shrinks, your confidence fades before you even start. But if you choose to visualize success, something powerful happens. Your brain begins to prepare for that outcome. It trains your body and voice to match the confident image you create. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It's a mental rehearsal that primes your mind and body to perform at their best. Picture yourself standing tall. Picture your voice clear, steady, and strong. Picture your words landing exactly as you want. Picture the people listening, leaning in, nodding, inspired. This simple mental exercise rewires your brain to expect success, not failure. It calms your nerves. It sharpens your focus. It makes your confidence real, long before you say a word. Elite athletes use visualization to win. Top performers use it to shine, and you can use it to own your voice. Make visualization part of your preparation. Before any conversation, presentation, or difficult talk, take a moment to see yourself confident, see yourself calm, see yourself powerful. Because what you see in your mind, your brain treats as real. When you visualize confidence, you build it. You create a foundation that your voice can stand on. And when you finally speak, you don't just hope for confidence, you own it. Because you've already seen it happen. No one speaks perfectly all the time. Mistakes happen, stumbles, forgotten words, pauses that feel too long. But here's what separates confident people from the rest. They don't let mistakes break their spirit. They embrace them. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are proof you are trying. They are the stepping stones to growth. When you fear mistakes, your voice tightens. You hold back. You play it safe. But when you accept that mistakes are part of the process, something powerful happens. You speak with freedom. You take risks. You show up, even when you're unsure. This mindset shift changes everything. It removes the pressure to be perfect. It replaces it with the courage to be real. Psychology shows that learning happens when we make mistakes and reflect. Each stumble rewires your brain, teaching you what works and what doesn't. So the next time you fumble, don't freeze or apologize excessively. Own it, laugh if you can, keep going. Your audience respects authenticity far more than flawless delivery. They connect with the human behind the words. Remember, every great leader was once a beginner who made countless mistakes. They succeeded because they kept speaking, learning, and growing. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your allies on the path to true confidence. So speak boldly, fail gracefully, and rise stronger every time. That's the secret to lasting confidence, the kind that can never be shaken. Confidence isn't built in isolation. It grows in an environment that supports and uplifts you. The people you surround yourself with have a powerful impact on your mindset and your voice. Positive energy is contagious. So is doubt and negativity. When you spend time with those who believe in you, who encourage you to speak up, your confidence blossoms. Their support acts like fuel, lifting you higher every time you hesitate. On the other hand, toxic or critical voices can dim your light. They make you question your worth. They make your voice shrink. Psychology shows that humans are wired for connection. We adapt to the energy around us. If your circle doubts you, your brain starts to doubt you. If your circle empowers you, your brain begins to trust itself. So choose your company wisely. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who celebrate your small wins. Surround yourself with those who listen deeply and respond with kindness. Positive environments don't just improve your mood, they transform your voice. They help you speak with clarity, passion, and courage. If you can't find that circle yet, start by filling your mind with positive words. Read motivational books. Listen to uplifting talks. Feed yourself with encouragement until your inner voice becomes your biggest cheerleader. Remember, confidence is not just about what you say. It's about who you are with and what energy you absorb. Surround yourself with positivity and watch your confidence grow stronger, louder, and unstoppable. Because when your environment believes in you, it becomes impossible for you not to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, self-confidence is a personal journey. No one else can walk it for you. No one else can give it to you. The moment you decide to own your voice, you become the leader of your life. You step into your power, not by waiting for permission, but by claiming your space. This means embracing both your strengths and your flaws. It means knowing that your voice matters, even when it shakes. It means showing up, speaking up, and standing tall, no matter the outcome. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about trusting yourself enough to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Leaders don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. They create their moment by being brave enough to start. Your voice is your tool to inspire, influence, and connect. But it only works if you use it, only if you trust it. So, own your journey, celebrate every small victory, learn from every challenge, and keep pushing forward, because the world needs to hear what only you can say. Remember, confidence isn't given, it's built. And it's built one choice, one word, one breath at a time. Step into your power today. Speak like the leader you are becoming, because when you do, you don't just change your story, you change the world around you.